Cows. I'm pretty sure no one has anything really bad to say about them. They produce milk, they are fairly tame, and beef does make a good burger. But did you ever feel like worshipping a cow? Well, our ancestors definitely did. Many ancient religions held cows to be divine, or in some cases, actually to be the form some gods take. For example, Zeus, sometimes in Greek mythology, took the form of a bull. Sometimes people worshipped idols made in the image of cows or bulls. One famous example is the golden calf in the story of the Jews' exodus from Egypt, where for some reason their first instinct when left to their own devices was to make a calf out of gold and to worship it. But actually, what I find interesting is that there are so many animals which mankind never decided to worship. For instance, most of the ancient world never respected pigs, although some held boars in high esteem. And you never hear about the great chicken god or anything. Well, of course, apart from the mega ultra chicken. But back on topic, with so much history of people worshipping cows, it's easy to imagine modern instances of the same behaviour. The famous one, of course, being the Hindus. Most people believe Hindus to worship cows, but do they really? And why do they hold cows to such esteem? Well, to find out, stay tuned. Hinduism is not as uniform a religion as we might think, and there are thousands of sects and subsects with different beliefs and interpretations. So we are going to stick to general ideas and consensus. So firstly, do Hindus worship cows? The answer is, drumroll please, no, they do not. Hindus, despite all the information which may say otherwise, don't worship cows. Although I'm pretty sure there are probably some exceptions, but Hindus do revere cows, often to the point that it may look like worship. Why do they do this? Well, it's all because of a number of factors. Links with divinity. Hindus associate several animals with different gods and consider them sacred, including the monkey, the elephant, the tiger, and even the rat. But none is revered as much as the cow. The cow is actually linked to a number of Hindu gods, two of the most important being Krishna, one of the most popular Hindu deities who spent their childhood as a cow herder, and who is said to promote the good treatment of cattle. And in the Vedas, the oldest of the Hindu scriptures, the cow is associated with the mother of the gods. There are also many other gods like Shiva who are also linked to cattle as well. The produce of cows have been linked with divinity, especially milk and milk products, which are used in many ceremonies and are part of high caste diets. Philosophy. Hindu philosophy promotes non-violence, especially non-violence against animals, and the cow has become a sort of symbolism for this philosophy. Also, by the 1st century AD, cows had come to be associated with the highest caste or class in Hinduism. To kill a cow was likened to killing a high caste member, which of course was a big taboo. Economics. In ancient India, cattle and oxen were sacrificed to the gods and meat was eaten. But even then, milk-producing cows were off limits, likely because their milk was so precious as a food source. The Indo-Europeans who settled in India in the 2nd century BC were pastoral peoples who relied heavily on cattle for food and already held cows in high reverence, believing that cows give more to us than we give to them. Still today, cows' produce are extremely important and used for many practical and ceremonial tasks. Even cow dung is seen as important because of its use as fuel, in fertilizing the soil, and apparently also as a disinfectant. So quick side note, when I seen that this was used as a disinfectant, I was like, honestly, how on earth can it be used as a disinfectant? That's just like asking for more disease and for your house to smell like, well, crap. But apparently it really is used, and some studies have even shown that the bacteria in cow poo might kill other bacteria. But I think that restaurants should just stick to bleach. Nationalism. Because cows have traditionally been revered, it has become increasingly linked to Indian nationalism. And as Indian nationalism is on the rise, so too is Indian reverence to cattle, despite growing secularization in the country. In fact, many modern cases of strife in the nation have been sparked by the killing of cattle, especially by Muslims. In fact, this was the case during the time of the British Raj. And actually, the excuse for the Indian Mutiny in 1857 was a rumour that the new British rifles used cow fat in its cartridges. Conclusion. As we have seen, cows and the reverence to them are deeply ingrained into Indian and Hindu society. And it doesn't look like that is going to change anytime soon. I hope you found this topic interesting, and if you would like to share anything in the comments, please feel free, especially if you're practicing Hindu or an Indian with anything to add.